Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Don't forget to like, listen, subscribe. Thanks for everybody that watches our show. Thanks for everybody that skims through and checks us out. We appreciate you all. So President Harris came out with, Vice President Harris.
Freudian slip.
Yeah.
She came out with a proposal today, man. It's,
She came out with a couple things on there. You know what I'm saying? We're going to cover a couple of them and then try to compare.
Harris has proposed a slew of economic policies. Here's a look at what's in them. Vice President Kamala Harris is out with a string of new economic proposals focused on food prices, taxes, housing, and medical costs that she says will empower the middle class. The plans constitute the first major policy proposals that Harris has released in the nearly 4 weeks since President Joe Biden bowed out of the race and endorsed as vice president. Okay, so it's really what it boils down to. Her first few proposals, what I'm looking at, one of the big ones was food prices. And I think that they've been having that's like one of their Achilles heels right now is the inflation and everything of that nature. And it was like we talked about it when Elon Musk had Trump on X, and Elon Musk said the most it just was crazy to me that he made this point, but he didn't realize the audacity for him to make the point. He was like, well, you know that inflation comes from government overspending. Who the fuck has spent more than the Republicans?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, who overspent more than Donald Trump? Trump in 4 years drove up the national debt by $9 trillion. He came into office with a $17 trillion deficit. $17 trillion. Everybody's like, Obama ran it up like $8 trillion himself. He came into office with a $1.3 trillion debt. You know what I mean? The guy before him came in with a surplus. So, I mean, like, we got to look at the realities of this shit. He came in, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then Donald Trump was talking, him and Elon Musk were talking. Donald Trump was like, he came out and said, oh, yeah, man, my 4 years were great. I left Joe Biden with a great economy. And, everybody started commenting like, oh, bro, I was 10 months deep into a cover and shelter place because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, his stock market dropped below 20,000. He had it up. He had the stock market booming for a minute, but it dropped. You got to take it with the shit with the sugar, man. You
got to admit your wrongs too. You know what I'm saying? It's like the economy, American economy. People were like, I don't know how you say we're better under Trump. The last year is what counts. The last year always is what counts. Nobody, it's just like NFL. No one cares that you had an all-star or a Hall of Fame season. It's about the last interceptions you threw in the last game.
Absolutely. What have you done for me lately? Like Janet Jackson said. But she came out. She's like, within her first 100 days in office, she's basically going to go and do like a federal price limits on food increases.
Yeah, banning grocery and food price gouging.
You know what I mean? And so, I mean, this is the thing we talked about with Elizabeth Warren already. She came out and said this. These are Democratic policies. This is what people don't really understand, man. Like, administrations, things take a while. Things took a while. Like it's like this person had on their wall. I went into a doctor's office and asked them to fix today in one day where it took me 10 years to accumulate, you know what I mean? Like whatever the sickness was that I had, I wanted him to fix it in one day. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen. So in this first administration, they had to dig us out of not only COVID, but also put our economy back on the right track, which they've done, and also make policies that are empowering the middle class. What I've seen from like what the Democrats have been doing is they're making like it's not a negative socialist agenda. It's a socialist agenda that's a more of a populist kind of a socialist type of thing. Yeah. In like a manner of speaking, they're trying to create an environment for middle class and the poor people to actually be able to live the way they used to live in the 50s.
And also, you know what I'm saying, people always say, oh, life was good under Trump. No, life was better before COVID. Let's just put that right there. Everyone had plans. We had things that COVID hit in February. Everyone had plans. They had things to do. There was kids that didn't get to graduate, didn't get to make college because they didn't get those scholarships. We had jobs, trips, and stuff we were going to go do. Everyone's life was majority of us, our lives were better before COVID. So you can't just say, oh, our life was good under Donald Trump because you're still living in the shadow of Obama.
Look at what, I mean, Mark Cuban had an interview. I want to do a video review on this. He had an interview with Vivek Ramaswamy. You got to go check that out. he ripped him you know what I'm saying, like they say, ripped him a new one. He came in there and he really gave him the business about Trump. He told him the truth. He was like, Trump came into a good economy that was Obama's economy, like you always say.
Yeah.
Said the same exact thing, and then he laid out basically like kind of what happened. But all this, we're saying all this because I don't want to get away from the core.
He ripped away most of the stuff Obama did because he was upset that Obama did it, and you saw what happened. It threw our country into the gutter.
Yeah, but the core
the gutter, and we were in the sewer with the poop.
The core news that we're talking about is like the fact of the matter is, like, the reason why food prices are where they're at right now is because of COVID. That happened. Then basically these grocery stores did not lower their prices. But like I said, the Democrats have been trying to put us into a situation to where they can now, if they can come in and we're given the green light to do price controls. Trump's going to come out and say, oh, they're doing, trying to do communist price controls. I think that's a bad argument for him to use. He just doesn't realize people are okay with that shit because they've been getting, we got 300% price increases on some items, man.
$8.
What'd you say?
Butter.
You feel me? Which was probably $2 and something before.
I don't know.
$2.99. I don't know either, but I bet you it was like probably $2.99.
It was like $2.99. For a thing of butter. Now it's like
$8. That's a hell of an increase, man.
Yeah,
that's a lot. And so you got to look at it. And so at the end of the day, I just feel like right now her administration. I really felt like I watched the speech today, and I'm paying attention to her. I always pay attention to people's energy and the way they move. And I know that she truly believes in what she's saying. It took a while for them to come out with their proposals. It took a while for them to even come out with an actual catchphrase. I think it's something like something forward. I can't keep moving forward or something like that.
We're not going back.
No, it's not that one. They changed it. It's like keep moving forward or moving us forward or something like that.
Forward.
Now.
Probably forward. I saw Stephen King with the shirt on that said forward.
Yeah, but Obama's was forward at one point in time. I think theirs is like changed. Then I think his first one was changed, I believe.
Yeah.
His second one was something different, like forward or something like that. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying it's something that have to do with forward. And
I'd like to throw this out there too. If you live in a Republican state where it's led by Republicans and your life is terrible, just remember this. They were able to go up there and change the laws so women couldn't have abortions. So they can change the laws and make your life better. You can't always blame big government for everything that's bad for you. I live in Washington. I have an okay life, besides them taking away the gun rights and making it so I got to pay to fish.
Everything is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
rent's $3,000 for a one-bedroom duplex.
Yeah, and I also wanted to say, the biggest thing, I felt like people were saying this was a coup. If it were a coup, she would have had better messaging. Period. It would have came out quicker. She would have already had her, her stump speeches already would have been, on point. Her message would have already been good. Her whole policy would have already been made. I feel like they're making this on the fly right now. They understood what they already wanted to do, but she didn't think that she was going to be running for president this time.
Yeah.
If she did, they would have already had all this shit.
Who's calling it a coup? The people that try to overthrow the government.
Exactly. You got all the Republicans saying that. And then she also has a big thing on housing as well too. She's calling for the construction of 3,000 new housing units over the next 4 years. She says she wants not 3,000. I'm sorry, 3 million new housing units over the next 4 years. Well, she's basically asking for that to be done before her first term is up.
And she's providing a $25,000 subsidy for first-time home buyers.
That's huge. I'm saying also wants a $40 billion innovation fund, doubling a similar pot of money created by the Biden administration for business building affordable rental housing units. So that $25,000 that you just brought up, that's huge, man, because you got to look at it like this. To buy a $500,000 home, it's going to be at least $25,000. That's not including closing costs or whatever else on top of that. That's just your 5% down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so with that, that's like a lot of homes cost around where we live at. That's like an average house around this motherfucker.
Yeah, like
especially,
nice,
that's just what it is. $500,000, that's might not in Seattle. They ain't getting you shit.
City, if you live in the woods, like for me, it's like you give me that much money, I'm just gonna buy the property and build my own house.
But it doesn't work that way because loans are. I understand what you're saying, but it's just that loans are different. Like land loans and all kinds. You got to do so many different. It's a different kind of shit you have to do. But when you're buying a house, even in where we live at, the city we're in, $500,000, you're gonna get it. It's hard to get a decent house.
A nice
for that.
house, yeah.
Yeah, especially on top of that, where interest rates are now. You really ain't getting shit for $500,000. Motherfucking it's crazy. But that's another thing. They're talking about housing, which is a very important point. They got taxes and medical costs. She's already said they wanted to. They gotten the insulin prices down to $35 for I think it's a month or whatever it is, or $35 for insulin for seniors. She wants to get that across the board now for everybody.
Capping prescription drug costs.
Yes. I think it's $2,000. They got their prescription drugs for total $2,000 a year. She's trying to get that for they're trying to work on these things for everybody across the board, which is this is what you're talking about. When I first came out and I said that, fixing something in one day that took 10 years to acquire, so basically when you're looking at something like this, it started with Obama. We skipped 4 years. We had Trump for 4 fucking years, and that threw off the gravy train, because the gravy train would have kept on rolling with different, with a new, say it was a Hillary administration. What do you think would have happened? More things for the people would have happened. That's what Democrats majority do. I don't really see them doing too many other things against people, except for like what they got going on over in California,
or what they're doing with the kids, and like,
that's what they got going on over in California.
I have no problem talking bad about the Democrats.
I mean, I don't have a problem talking bad about them, especially when you're wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Yeah, I don't believe in that shit at all. But that's the same thing. But on top of that, if we want to get into kind of some of the things that Trump also proposed, he hasn't come out with his full policy statements, but he has proposed a few actual policies. I don't know if you want to.
I mean, the couple things that I got from him, because I want him to come out and actually say what his policies are. But the two things I got from him was giving the police complete immunity. That means they can come and beat your ass in your house,
kill you, and
do whatever they want to do, and never go to jail for it. Yep. I mean, that's going to work out until all the black people try to be police.
And then they're gonna start wanting to take it away again.
They're like, wait a minute.
They also got he also has the eliminate taxes on tips. He came out with that, and I think Kamala also endorsed that as well. I don't know, so I mean that would be a huge thing for people who live on tips as well, because
what I need them to do. I need them to stop overtaxing my overtime. That's what'll get you. One time I worked overtime at one of my jobs, man. I calculated my money, and the way the tax was set up, because I was at the bottom of the middle class tax bracket, and the way it was set up, it took all my overtime, because all my overtime accumulated to my taxes, and so I just got to keep my regular check without it being taxed. It's kind of what it equaled out to. I was hot about it. If I worked less, I made more money.
That's crazy. I mean, it's kind of, that's the way the tax system is set up, though. I mean, anywhere it go, the more you make, the more they take.
Unless you're a trillionaire, then they don't take anything.
You figure out a way around it, but at the same time, people, and I'm gonna be honest with you, people with jobs can figure out. I mean, that's not actually true, because at the end of the day, the way they're paying you, they're gonna take their shit right off the bat.
Take it right before you
it
get to touch
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Yeah,
exactly how it is. It's like
you could probably get some of it back in taxes if you write it off.
I was like, look, I'm out of poverty. And my taxes said, nah, you ain't, son.
I'm going to tell you like this. When you start acquiring, like this is nothing, start acquiring property and stuff like that, there's ways that you can, there's ways you can get money back, because you do have properties, ways you can write things off that are a part of actual, part of the tax system, or you can actually get money back.
Yeah.
But so he talked about ending taxes on Social Security benefits. Which, and also
sounds like a lie. He's trying to end Social Security.
That's what 2025 is there.
No, that's the whole thing. They've always said it every year, every time. Hey, there's someone that comes out and says it. And they're like, no, we're not going to do it. That's the plan. Yes. That and Medicaid.
That's the Republican plan, man.
That's always their plan.
Let's keep it real.
Why hide from it?
Let's keep it real. And they said that he wants to add tariffs to like all products. Basically, he says he wants to add 10 to 20% tariffs to all products that come into the United States.
Remember,
he said up to China? 60.
Yeah, China, they had to get the farmers in America welfare, because it almost crippled us. It almost crippled the gooey duck market, because only China buys 90% of the gooey ducks from the Pacific Northwest and all the West Coast from the businesses. And they stopped. They said, okay, we'll show you. And they said no more gooey ducks can come into China. It almost crippled the gooey duck business.
He's talking about putting 60% more tariffs on Chinese imports. I mean, we don't we have to. They said this could cost average families.
He wants to beef with China,
and what it is, he want. I mean, honestly, man, I think they kept some of his tariffs in place, though. Some of the things he did, they kept them in place, because it's just right, man. Like we talked about the other day with the EVs, man. You can't subsidize your car makers so they can make an EV and then sell it in our market for $30,000 that really should be going for $80,000-$90,000 if you have me, because you're subsidizing your car maker so they can dump cheap cars on ours and cripple our car industry. We can't have that, man. You cripple our car. That's like giving something away. What if we did that to them? Subsidize, say, But then they won't take our goods though. That's what it'll be. They'll be like, nope, we're not buying your goods. We're going to buy our own stuff. Yeah. But here we want to dump our stuff onto you. Man, sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. I agree. I don't agree. I don't know about the 60% on all Chinese imports deal. Because, right now China's going through hell and high water over there. It's pretty bad over in China as far as economically. It's pretty bad. 60% tariffs would be extremely bad, and it would damn near constitute war. Because, we're one of China's biggest trading partners. One of the biggest. Right now, Russia can't buy shit. They ain't got no money. They fucked up right now. They can't do it. You know what I mean? So, there's really...
they got enough to pay $20,000 to soldiers to go die in the front lines.
They got to right now.
You want to go? I got you. Hey, 20 grand when you come back. He's not coming back. Well, see you later, my friend.
Stupid, bro. Hey, the cool part about that right there, I really already got something on that as well, too. Just so you want to skip through it.
Yeah, come on.
Head over to Ukraine's stunning incursion into Russia is playing out in online videos. The line of camo-clad men laying face down in the dirt track with their hands behind their backs is so long the camera has to zoom out and pan left. The video circulated widely on social media from an array of official and unofficial accounts, purportedly shows more than 100 Russian soldiers being taken prisoner by Ukrainian forces in Kursk this week. The date or circumstances in which the footage was shot could not be independently verified, but it's one of many emerging that are helping to paint a picture, from one side at least, of Ukraine's stunning incursion into Russia. The assault that turned the war on its head was made possible by the surprise and secrecy, a buildup of troops and equipment that caught the Kremlin off guard, with its early promise shrouded in the fog of war and the vacuum of information left by the tight-lipped official sources. So basically what they're talking about right now is the incursion that Ukraine took into Russia. This is the first time Russia has been invaded. Probably since the Nazis.
Since World War II, yeah.
Yeah, since the Nazis invaded Russia. Russia. This is like, it's like someone invading America. It damn near like breaks down a person's like veneer of invincibility. You know what I mean? People can look at me. Right now we feel like we're confident over here. Ain't nobody running up in this motherfucker. I don't feel like nobody will.
You know what I mean? Now we got too many guns,
and we're like secured. Our borders are secured. For them to have done that and now they own, like they've taken 1,000 square miles or 386 square miles of Russian territory, which is not a lot. But I took your territory. You had to evacuate over 130,000 people. You know what I mean? Like you had to tell them, we got to get up out of here. I'm taking your soldiers. Your soldiers giving up, waving a white flag. Imagine if we saw that in Washington, in fucking Blaine, in motherfucking you know what I mean, Bellingham and shit.
Hold on. Hey, Blaine go hard. Shout out to all the people in Blaine, bro. They ain't no punks.
I'm not saying it like that.
I'm telling you, people in Blaine ain't no punks. I'm just saying we got guns. They got guns out in Blaine. All
right? Hey, we'll be up in Blaine. If the motherfucker came to Blaine, I'm going up to Blaine. It's going down. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm heading up to Blaine. We're gonna go. I'm trying to shoot something. I'm trying to shoot something. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm trying to knock something down.
Magazines, get in the car behind us. All right.
You feel me? Everybody gonna have American flag on the back of their shit. We all gonna be. It's gonna be 2001 all over again. It's gonna be bad business.
Yes, I'm gonna have the flag as a cape. Dead ass, bro. That's one thing I say. Like we in America, that's what I don't like right now. We have our differences, but if we get attacked, we're like, let's
go it down. That's why we do not need to get rid of our guns, man. They're playing fucking games.
Don't let them touch the soil.
That's I'm like. This is why I'm like. I listen to Kamala, man. Her second thing she talks about sometimes is assault weapon, like getting rid of assault weapons, saying they're weapons of war, which I understand her. And when this is, I watched the
You know what's crazy?
Not to get off the Ukraine subject. We'll be right back on that actually. But I watched a video of her with Uncle Luke. You know what I mean? This is, Luke Campbell. Luke from 2 Live Crew.
Yeah.
It's crazy. 4 years ago, when she was running for president, 4 or 5 years, 2019,
he
about 5 years ago.
In Miami.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, she did a when she was running for president at the time, and she did it like a vlog with him, pretty much. Went and sat on the show with him or whatever, and did a vlog with him, and sat down and had a candid conversation. They talked about all this stuff that they're talking about now. They talked about then. They talked about how the people felt like she wasn't black enough. Everything. They're like, and she actually brought up assault when she said assault weapons and guns. She said, you know what the number one cause of death of black males are? Black people in general, black males especially. Guns. She said it's greater than the next 9 combined. The next 9 can be put together and it's still not bigger than guns. That's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So I understand where she's coming from when she looks at that like we need to, this is a big thing on our community. It's hurting us. But as a person who also is really big on the Second Amendment, I'm like, shit, man, we can't get rid of these guns. That's why nobody's going to run up and blame.
And you know what's tight about, you know what's crazy? Like the first time I got my AR, I bought it and I went to the gun range, right? And I was a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? You travel around different places in Washington. It's not cool like that. But when I got there, man, everybody that owned guns was friendly and nice because we're all legal gun owners.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
Guns. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to one guy. He had this gun. It was a hunting rifle, right? But the bullet in that thing was like this big.
Yeah,
like, that big, and it was like round. I was like, damn, and he fired it. I was like, Papa. I was like, damn, what is that? And he told me what it was, and so I'm over there firing there, like, you know, I didn't have a rear sight on my gun.
Yeah,
and he's like, they're like, nah, bro, you need a rear sight because you can't see nothing because it may have a little pointer in the front, but if you ain't got the rear sight, you can't line it up. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I hit the target. I shot 30 rounds, hit the target twice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
you wasn't talking about shit at the time.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk. Nah, you know, I got scopes.
Yeah,
I got lasers, I got shell catches. You know,
yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you
bro. Like,
when you get
that's
around.
what I'm saying. Legal gun owners, we get the bad rap for bad people that have guns. But back to Ukraine.
I mean, the biggest thing, like we have to look at this, like right now. Also, if you want to kind of put this into perspective, they also talked about that Ukraine also got in trouble for. Some guy from Ukraine got in trouble for blowing up a pipeline, these pipelines that were heading into Russia. So, I mean, it's a lot going on.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to do that. He said Zelensky didn't give him permission to do it.
The Nord Stream pipelines, they blew up. I mean, they gave him permission at first. They gave him permission. Then they say the CIA got a hold of it and was like, hey, don't do it at the last minute. And then Zelensky was like, all right, I try to tell my people, but it was too late. They'd already cut off communications.
Let them know.
But, you know, so, I mean, like this war right here is really starting to take a different form right now. I don't know. My personal opinion is I think that eventually Putin's going to have to probably drop something big.
Yeah, he's going to have to.
You know what I mean? If they keep on taking Russian territory like that.
It's like he's getting punked because he's trying to pay this nice war with him. But
he has to.
He should have came out. I mean, the war should have been over anyways. But
I'm gonna tell you why. You know why he got
without NATO backing.
You know why? Yeah, it would have been. But you know why you got to play a good war with him. If he doesn't, these are European Americans.
Yeah.
What they say? These are people who look like us. They look like your next door neighbor. You hear the person say that?
What's his name from UK or whatever? He was like, "Yo, this war doesn't happen in Europe. It usually happens in Africa." And
you feel what I'm saying?
Prince Harry. Not Prince Harry. He's the one married to Meghan, right?
Yeah. Was it Cameron?
No, it's the other prince. The other one, the bald head one that cheats on his wife.
Charles?
Yeah, Charles is the dad, isn't he?
I don't know.
Prince Harry, that's one of them. He's a loser, anyways.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though, like, it's basically so that's why he has to fight fair in this war right here. It can't be just where he can't. It can't be Gaza.
He can't just
It can't be Gaza. The Gaza attack. It can't be that at all. They can't go in there and kill. It's like are we watching? I know this person's no longer
telethons.
Yeah, are we watching? Walter Cronkite. Even though we know he's no longer a news person. Don't get it wrong. I mean, we're not watching any of the
somebody else that doesn't exist in news. Are you watching Don Lemon?
Yeah, or Van Jones or any of them. But those aren't like reporter
is that
type
Black
news.
Ukraine? No, that ain't Van Jones.
They're not in fucking Gaza for a reason because they're killing journalists over there. They've killed over like 200 and something journalists, man.
Even the Pope came out today and said what Israel is doing in Gaza is terrorism. The Pope. I know his word doesn't mean anything because he lets his congregation run around and touch little kids, but still. His word
should mean something to the variety or to the many multitude of Catholics out there in the world. Yeah. I mean, the Vatican, I mean, they are one of the richest, if not, one of the richest, businesses, whatever you want to call it, religious places in the entire world. Yeah. That's the Vatican is. I mean, so it should mean something that he says that. That's a pretty big deal that he came out and said that.
Yeah.
And so, man.
I want to take it back home. Subway calls emergency meeting as sales plummet. But everyone thinks they know why. Subway has called an emergency meeting with the franchise that runs its 19,000 restaurants amid tumbling sales and profits. The sandwich chain, with more locations than McDonald's but much lower sales, will reveal plans to lure in more customers, such as deals and new products. All fast food chains suffered in the past year of inflation-weary Americans have eaten it a lot less. McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's have all rolled out a $5 meal. Side note, Wendy's has been doing it for years. Let's say that. But Subway has been particularly badly hit, with sales down 9% amid complaints of huge price hikes, tired-looking shops, and has yet to roll out a competitive narrative offered like rivals. Maybe Subway is calling an emergency meeting because no one wants to pay $12 for a mediocre sandwich when they can make it at home for $3. Douglas has said. President of Bonafide Wealth wrote on X. So I want to talk about this. Check it out. Nobody wants to pay. It's almost $15 for a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? For
Used to be cheap.
Used to be cheap
back in the
$5
day.
foot long. Remember they had the song $5?
Yeah.
$5 foot.
Maybe they're getting hit with price increases like everybody else.
No. Subway's is ridiculous, bro. So you get the sandwich, you get the chips and the drink, right? It's $20.
$20.
And it's more bread than anything else.
I'm not paying. I mean, Subway used to be crazy. You used to get all that for about like $10.
Yeah, it was slapping. I mean, Jeezy came out and said he was like, "Yo, I had a Subway for $2.50 a day."
I mean, Subway used to be popping, man.
That wasn't. I'm like, yeah, your $5 footlong was only $2.50. So now it's tripled in price.
Yeah.
The food's mediocre now. You know what I'm saying? They heat the meatballs up in the microwave. I've seen them do that. It's more veggies than meat. Like next time you look at a Subway commercial, look at the sandwich. It's like a little bit of meat, and it's a whole bunch of veggies. But that's for all fast food restaurants. All the prices are ridiculously out of. It's cheap. Some people are like, it's cheaper to go eat at a restaurant.
I mean, I'm like this, man. Subway has some of the most franchise or locations in all of America. I think they're like top 5.
19,000, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
out
of all of them. Yeah. So I mean, you got to look at. There's a lot of fucking Subways out there. They need to it's price controls, man. It's like they have to start damn near doing the McDonald's model. But if you look at McDonald's, their prices are through the roof too.
Yeah.
Food prices are fucking high, man. This is what the problem is right here.
McDonald's. That's processed food. That
doesn't matter.
Somewhere. So it could be cheaper. They just charge you more. Now, see, with Subway, the thing is, Subway got famous, and they don't want to address it. They never apologized for it because they had Jared in those commercials, and they knew because he had said it to one of the directors or whatever that he was a pedophile. He had said something to her one time. Yeah,
I didn't hear about that. That's crazy.
Real facts. No, he said something to her about liking little kids.
Wow.
And shit. And she was like, oh, damn. You know what I'm saying? Kind of got thrown back, but they still put his ass in those commercials.
About liking little kids? What could you possibly say? Like, hey, I like little kids.
Now you look at him, right? He was a fat-ass dude. He ate Subway to get skinny so the kids couldn't run away from him.
Damn.
Think about it.
I didn't know he said something to somebody.
He said something to somebody. Bro, anybody can fact-check me on that shit.
Fact-check that shit right now.
Fact-check that shit.
Let's look
he
at
said something to somebody, a director, and they just let it slide. They were like, all right, cool, because he's too important to the Subway movement.
He was the brand for a long time.
Subway's not good no more. All right?
Remember they got caught for using like fake meat or some shit like that?
Tuna.
Yeah.
They got using their tuna's not real fish. Their Subway sandwiches aren't 12 inches because after you heat them up, it turns to 10 or something like that. A guy in New Jersey measured them. You know, so he showed the pictures.
Remember the one dude went to the I forget. I think he went to McDonald's, man. Then he took out the scale, the dope scale, put the cup on top of the scale. And shit, he weighed the motherfucking quarter pounder. He was like, "This shit ain't no quarter pounder."
You know, when I go to fast food restaurants, bro, I don't trust them because those people don't like their jobs no way, right? So when I go inside first of all.
Yeah.
I order my food. They hand me the bag like, here's your food. I set my bag on the counter. I take my food out right then and there and I look at it, right? And if it's messed up, I'd be like, no, give my money back. They'd be like, you don't want us to make it again? I'm like, no. I gave you one chance already to make it.
You gave him the chance.
I gave you the chance.
You can't welcome my shit
I'm not
no
going
more.
to give the food. He messed up on it on purpose because he doesn't care. Now I'm not going to give this guy that hates his job a second chance to be like, you go yell at him and say, make this guy's food
keep it real.
better.
I went to a one Subway location, man, and the shit was just nasty. And I know it wasn't even the food that was, but just like there was gnats all up inside. They wasn't taking care of the store.
Yeah.
That was the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like the store is just nasty. I mean, you got, they're running out of different stuff and you can see the lettuce was on top of this other stuff over here. It just wasn't right. And you got like gnats mating inside the thing. It just wasn't right, man.
Well, the gnats are coming in from, it's like fruit flies. But also, like if you go to Subway, right, and you look at the tomatoes and they look old, that means because the person that owns it is cutting costs. Because of the tomato, if you know what a tomato looks like, fresh slice is fresh slice. When you've seen a tomato the next day already cut, it's already turning watery, and the outside is all watery. And that's because they're using the tomatoes from the day before because they didn't sell.
Man, look, I don't care about, you ain't supposed to have fruit flies in, I don't care. If
your fruit flies actually grow, they live in the drains of your sink. That's where
but
they
you can
nest.
get rid of all that stuff, though. That stuff can be gotten rid of, man. You can keep that kind of stuff out of your locations. You can clean up and keep that stuff away from your stuff, but they obviously are going to go through problems. I wonder if they're going to start cutting locations.
Maybe it's, they're probably, you know what, maybe it's because when you go to Subway, and I want everyone to do this, next time you go to Subway, when they make your sandwich and they go to cut your sandwich, watch which knife they grab. They never, I mean, if you go to, I found one Subway that every time they go and grab a clean knife. They're so lazy, they'll grab a knife they've been cutting everyone's sandwich with and cut your sandwich with it.
Wow.
And I call them on it every time, like, hey, can you use a clean knife? And they're like, oh. Throw that one, and they have a bucket of clean knives, but they use the same knife to cut your sandwich.
It's crazy, man, that we talk about Subway this way, but I mean, it is truly Subway. But I mean, at the same time, it's employees, man. These are like, These are American employees. This is what they do, man.
They don't get paid. Think about it.
It doesn't matter what they get paid. A motherfucker can get paid $40 an hour. I know. Listen. When I was young, I was younger, man. I was fresh out of high school. I was probably making like $17 an hour. This was back when minimum wage was like $5.55. $17 an hour was like, dang, I'm winning. I'm making $1,000, bring home a week. So we working hella overtime, killing them at 18. You know what I mean? But there was motherfuckers who worked with me that was lazy as shit. They didn't care. It didn't matter how much money they was making. They was going to complain about it. This is Americans, man. Yeah. Motherfuckers like, oh, I'm in the union. They can't fire me. This is how they feel, man. So it's not just they ain't paying them motherfuckers. They paying people getting paid. Minimum wage right now is like damn near $17 an hour or something like that, man.
Yeah, no, my son just got paid today. He was like, Dad, I'm balling.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, so.
He ain't even got shit to spend his money on.
You feel me? And so at the end of the day, man, I guarantee you it's the American worker, man. Like, not all American workers are like that, but a lot of motherfuckers is lazy as fuck, man.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Let me, Secret Service prepares use of bulletproof glass for outdoor Trump rallies.
That they do.
The U.S. Secret Service is making arrangements for former President Donald Trump to resume outdoor campaign rallies by surrounding his podium with bulletproof glass, multiple sources told ABC News. The measure is typically used exclusively for sitting presidents, but the Secret Service is making an exception following the first attempted assassination of a presidential candidate since George Wallace in 1972. The Secret Service declined comment on use of its ballistic glass. Trump campaign spokesperson Stephen Chung said that campaign does not comment on security measures relating to Trump. The Secret Service recommended that Trump stop holding outdoor rallies last month after a gunman in Butler, Pennsylvania fired at him from a rooftop 400 feet from the stage, nicking his ear. A man in the crowd was killed by the attack. Since July 13th, Trump has held nearly a dozen campaign events, all of them indoors.
Yeah.
But they say he's privately expressed desire to campaign outdoors and has sought assurances it will be safe, the sources say. This is what I was going to say last time, too. This is why people were talking. They were like, hey, he hasn't been campaigning that much. What's going on? This motherfucker almost got killed. If I almost got killed, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not campaigning for you motherfuckers. You're going to see me on Zoom. That's about it. That's all the campaigns you're going to see is me lay here like this. Like, to all people be talking to y'all. It's going to be a room full of y'all. I'm going to be on camera. And this is what we're going to do. I'm serious. I'm like, how are you guys mad at him for not getting back out there and campaigning? The nigga he almost got his head blew off.
They be talking ish too.
He almost got his head. I understand that. I'm just being. Listen, I'm being even keeled with this. I'm not coming back outside again. Yeah, call me whatever you want. It's a wrap, my dude. I'm not coming out there. You guys let the dude shoot at me from the right vantage point. I can't trust none of y'all. I got to have my brothers got to be the people who's checking everything out for me from now on. I'm not fucking with none of y'all no more. It's a wrap, guys. Bro, that's a wrap. I'm guaranteed money. You won't see me back outside again. So I feel him on this. He's talking about let's get back outside again. No way, buddy.
He ain't say that. He ain't say I want to do outside. No, he don't want to do it. He going to be in the Pope Mobile.
I'm like this. I was surprised that he even got back to campaign so soon. To be real with you, man, look, if this was all 100% what it was, and that bullet picture was the one bullet flying by his head,
the fragment,
whatever it was, I don't care, whatever it is, it could be the bumblebee that flew out of my head and nicked my ear. It's over. Listen, bro, I'm going to keep it real. I'm never going back outside campaigning with nobody. I can't trust none of y'all. Y'all set me up. I'm looking at y'all like I'm Tupac when he got shot in Quad Studios and went upstairs looking at Biggie and him with a cigarette in his mouth. That's who I am right now. I ain't never coming back outside to do campaign. That's just what it is. So I understand Trump and I agree with him. If he wants to do indoor campaign rallies and then put a big screen, a big monitor outside so everybody outside can see me campaigning, I'm going to wave at him and look like I'm shaking your hand and everything. But that's what's going to happen, buddy.
He's just an idiot. Think about it. It's like he'd be like, no, let my constituents in with guns. They're not trying to hurt me. He was one of your constituents.
At that time, they wasn't trying to hurt him, but this motherfucker was a little different. He was a little different type motherfucker right there. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even have went to the RNC. I couldn't have trusted it. I'm thinking somebody trying to kill me, man. Listen.
That's indoors. They check your pocket.
Listen, bruh. Listen, they let the person get the one rooftop with the perfect shot to me who could have blew my head off. I don't trust nobody. You ain't checked nobody at the door at this point in time. I can't believe it. I'd never go to the club again. It's over. If I went to the club one time and he got in the club and almost blew my shit off, I guarantee I wouldn't be at the club again. I'm not going next weekend to show that I'm not scared.
I'm not going.
He almost killed me. Yeah, it's a wrap. I'm not coming up in here no more.
He's like, yeah, they pat you down to get in the club. But them dudes outside, they still got their guns.
You know what I'm saying? You almost killed me. Listen, bro. Until everybody's gone, who got something bad. Everybody said, he said, if you ever looked at me funny, you know what I'm saying, have something negative to say about me, until they all gone, man. I'm not coming back outside again.
That's a great movie.
I'm keeping it real, though. Keeping it real. You got something you want to go?
Yeah, man. It's here. Let me go right here.
Keeping it real.
Let's see. Project 2025 Architect. We want to destroy government agencies and notions of independence. A key architect of the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 boasted in a secretly recorded interview that he and his allies are working to destroy the independence of federal agencies that have been in place for decades. CNN reports that Russell Vought, a former Trump administration official, told undercover left-wing activists that the team behind Project 2025 is working on drafting hundreds of executive orders that he argued would fundamentally change the relationship between executive branch agencies and the President of the United States. 80% of my time is working on the plans of what's necessary to take control of this bureaucracies, Vought said at one point in the recording, and we are working diligently on that, whether it's destroying their agency's notions of independence. So, I mean, this is just another extra piece here of Project 2025 they try to hush away from. But as you notice, everyone that's a part of it has worked for Donald Trump.
Yeah, everybody was part of that shit. It was in a bunch of them. They can't have a whole video where there's, I guess it was like a secretly taped video where all like, I was a part of the Trump administration in 20 something, whatever it was, in 2018 and 20 this. There's a bunch of people who are everybody who's in there pretty much worked for Trump at some point in time. It's his agenda, man. You know, just like it was like the thing you brought up, the article you brought up on I think it was the last show or the show before about the U.S. Air Force, how they're polluting the water. Then they use the Chevron ruling to kind of get out of having to pay for the shit. This is exactly what all this is right here. You know what I mean? So this is what is going to come from this right here. This is what they're going to use to start looking at stuff like, oh yeah, well, none of us, we're not a part of this shit. What they're going to do is start breaking down government agencies. They're going to break down the Department of Education. You know what I'm saying? They're going to break down, just
they're
everything.
Get rid of the FBI and replace it with all the people they want. They're going to get rid of the ATF and replace it with all the people that they want. Then that's how they're going to get the immigrants out of the country. Then after they do that, that's how they're going to throw black people back into slavery. How do you not see that happening?
I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm not gonna say that, but I had a friend of mine who told me, like I said, he told me that January 6th was gonna happen. I ain't believe it. I was like, man, this ain't right. Listen to that shit. I wouldn't believe it for nothing. So I ain't gonna disbelieve what you're saying, but it's a long motherfucking way to go to send any of us back to slavery. It's gonna be a war. It ain't gonna be I don't even like to say war like this, but it's gonna be a pretty bad conflict.
No, you don't understand, bro.
It's gonna be a bad conflict.
People don't understand.
Ain't nobody about to do it. Ain't nobody going to
watch black people get murdered.
Crazy.
Twice a week, unjustly, all the time. And we're always told, calm down, time will come, freedom will ring. Well, one time, when that shit gets over with and we get to buck up and get wild, I'm just saying, excuse me, sorry, I got a little excited.
Listen, it's going to be crazy, man. Ain't nobody
man.
I couldn't see myself in slavery. Can you see yourself in slavery?
Hell no, I can read and write. They would have to hang me right away.
I couldn't see it happen. You're going to have to kill a bunch. It's going to have to be a lot of dead bodies on the street before you ever see slavery.
And we okay with that. We see dead bodies every day.
You know what I mean? Like, so that ain't going to happen. That's why I don't. I mean,
that's going to be the plan. What do you think they're going to do? What do you think they're going to do? You have all these people working, and all they did the whole time was get rid of illegal immigrants out of America.
Like I said.
I mean, kick doors open, drag them out the home. So what? Okay, now
they're going to look at us next.
They're going to be like, woo, that's done. All right, cool, guys. Back to what we were doing before.
Hey, like I said, man, slavery is a little bit of a stretch for me, and I can't say about you because I can't say that you've been wrong about too much. I can't say that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have to just see what happens. But I'm like, man, it's gonna be
I got that sense in my head where it's like, you know
cold day in hell.
Right. It's time to get the fuck out of here.
It's gonna be. Ain't nobody leaving. We gonna fight this out right here.
It's crazy. I told my mom that I was like, what happens if all the black people? What if we just packed up and left? She's like, first of all, it's not going to work because we have too many of their bad habits. And two, they'll never let us be free. They'll never leave us alone. And I said, damn, you're right.
It ain't even that. I own stuff here. I ain't going nowhere. Where am I going?
I'm going to say all the black people in America, we build up the back of some country in Africa. We're like, all right, we're all leaving. You think a lot of people are going to stay here with the rest of America? No, they be like, I'm coming with y'all.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one. We're gonna have to build up some stuff. It's gonna be a whole bunch.
Women are gonna leave this country. Like, nah, I'm out of here.
A lot of people gonna be gone. It's gonna be a lot of Americans out of here.
They're gonna be gone. They're gonna be leaving with us too. Because what are you left with?
European culture. That's pretty much what you got. You're gonna have Europe. America will become Europe if we left.
They'll never win the Olympics again.
But now I can't even say that. I can't.
Am I not lying.
Hey, I can't even say they'll be Europe because if you look at the French team and everything over in France, there was nothing but us in there too. It's like, you look over there, it's pretty much us everywhere. I mean, we're not going anywhere, man.
Swimming. I mean, I'll give them that.
I don't know. We had the one black girl. I think she was doing good in swimming too. She won some swimming events.
Ain't nobody beating them aqua lads out there.
You got some people who was swimming pretty good, man. I'm trying to tell you. We had just one girl who was an ice skater who was filthy too. She was good. I can't remember her name. She was breaking records.
She did a flip 360 in ice skating, and they told her
she can't do it anymore. She was from France.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about. There's another black girl who's a speed skater who just was winning. I don't know if it was this Olympics or last one.
It was the one. I think it was last one.
Last winter Olympics.
They disqualified. They're like, yo, you can't do that because no one else can.
That was a long time ago. I know you're talking about that French girl. This is like when they did the Dominique Dawes. Same thing. When she came out, I think she did some floor routine that was just like she did a flip forward, a flip back, did some stuff that nobody else could do. And they told her, they looked at even Simone Biles, did the same kind of stuff to her, basically like, we have to grade you differently on this because can't nobody else do this shit.
And the whole thing, if no one else can do it, you should automatically win.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of what happens.
Especially if you land it correctly. Yeah. Period. But she pretty much was automatically winning.
Gymnastics is crazy, bro, because you can do a triple flip, double axel, touch your knee, fart in the air, but you got to land it straight with your feet touching on the ground.
You know what I mean?
If you move back once, it's like, oh, nope, you lost. Like I just did 20 Power Ranger moves in the sky, but I landed once wrong, and I can't do my stance. You got.
Hey, Susan Lawrence, white Florida woman who fatally shot black neighbor, found guilty of manslaughter.
Okay, manslaughter. That's what they gave her, huh?
Manslaughter. A white woman with a history of harassing children and using racial slurs was convicted of manslaughter on Friday in the fatal shooting of a black neighbor last year in Ocala, Florida. Susan Louise Larice, 60, killed Ajik A.J. Owens with a single shot from a .380 caliber handgun as Owens knocked on her apartment door on June 2nd, 2023.
So the story is what happened was the kids were playing. She's been harassing the kids before. The kids were playing in a field. And then they left the field, and one of the kids had left their tablet there, their iPad. So the kids went back to go get the iPad. The lady had picked it up, and it's this field, community field. She don't own it. She's like, get off my property, you little nigger kids. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Flipped out on him, took the tablet, tossed it at him, hit one of the kids with the tablet. The kid's going to tell the mom. The mom's hot about it. She's going to knock on the door, be like, yo, what is you doing? She's knocking on the door. And the lady, if she would have opened the door and blasted her, she would have been fine, stand your grounds. But she shot her through the door.
She didn't give her a chance to talk to her or say anything to her at all.
Nothing.
You just basically like, I'm going to kill. Yeah, this lady's crazy, and she got a history of using racial slurs. They got everything here, and they only got her guilty of manslaughter. Man, that should have been murder.
Well, you got to charge people what you're getting with.
I mean, I understand, but manslaughter, man, you only get so much time for manslaughter. I think manslaughter, they could probably give her the gun enhancement, which is another 5 years. You can get 10 years pretty much. I think manslaughter is the maximum sentence you can get for manslaughter is 5 years or something like that. Like I'm saying,
if she would have opened the door and let the lady lunge at her, and then she would have popped her, she would have been clean.
Stand your ground.
But it's also like they should have got her for, it's an accumulative of things, you know what I'm saying? Because she was being, the racism shit, they didn't get her for that because it could have been a hate crime, but it wasn't. The mom was banging on the door.
Crazy, Bobby. Like, bitch, she's probably going wild.
Bring your ass outside,
and what she should have. You know what I mean? You going out, you touching somebody else's shit that ain't got nothing to do with you. You inserting yourself in a situation that got nothing. And then you live in an apartment complex. That means it's everybody's property. Why are you fucking with these kids? You know what I mean? You should have saw, I watched the actual court footage of her. She had no expression on her face when she got found guilty. And most people going, she's 60. You about to get at least about 10, 15. Hey, hold on. His face is up to it. No. She just got found guilty recently.
But the incident was almost 2 years ago.
It happened in 2023. It just happened this last year. Yeah, it happened on June 2nd, 1 year. What happened was, it's a 1 year ago. Basically, her trial probably started a month ago or maybe 2 months ago. Who knows? But she just didn't do what most people do, which is like hold their shit off for a couple years at a time or whatever. Yeah. She thought she had stand my ground. Thought these niggas was gonna do her like they did George Zimmerman.
Well, she probably took the charge because she's thinking if Donald Trump gets elected, he'll just set me free anyway.
She probably thought that how they didn't convict Zimmerman down there.
That's what she was gonna. She tried to stand her ground, like I said, but she didn't open the door. If she would have opened the door up, it's a whole different story.
Look, they found her guilty. She was stone faced, and she facing 30 years, and she was just stunned there. Was like, yeah, and we're gonna remand you to custody right now. She was stone faced again. She kind of said. And was stone faced. I was like, dude, you a stone cold killer. If I'm 60 and gotta do 30, you might see a couple tears drop out my eyes. And I ain't one of them types to cry about shit. I ain't no crybaby cat. I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Like, but hey, if I'm 60 and I got to go do 30, it's over. Listen, it's over for you in jail. People gonna act like, yeah, I ain't gonna say that. Nigga, if you ain't never been, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So
if I'm 60 years old and I gotta go do 30 years, I'm gonna blow a kiss to the judge and tell him to lick my fucking nuts.
Yeah. Let me tell you right now. Let me tell you right now. I don't know if she had I don't know. They said remanded custody. So that meant that she wasn't in custody. Either she had bailed out or whatever the case may have been.
Oh, no. Someone bailed her out. Usually when they kill
so
black folks
tell a person that you got 60 years and it got a faces up to 30. They're going to give you 20. You're dead in jail. You're going to die behind bars. You know what I mean? So anybody blowing people kisses and stuff like that, it sound good until they say, to tell you how many months you get. They don't tell you in years. They tell you in months. They go.
You're a kid and watch it. They tell you in months. They go like this. Come out and be like, "Yeah, I did 47 months." I'm sitting there like, "Damn!" It's like when someone tells you, "Hey, my kid's 27 months old." I'm like, "Thanks for the fucking math lesson, Susan." Shit.
They gonna tell her 360 months. That sounds like forever. Let a person tell you 300 months.
But she's probably not tripping because she thinking she's gonna get off on the appeal.
Listen, it sounds good until you got to go back. Was she back in them cold walls?
One day in jail where she took the picture and then she got bailed out.
She going back in them cold walls from back there, and
then she gonna realize the jail's full of the blacks.
She gonna have to cut her hair short.
One cop that shot George Floyd didn't remember that. Saw what happened to him.
Hey, she gonna have to cut her hair.
That guy to a fountain punch bowl.
She gonna have to. But they ain't put him in jail. He didn't have to do no time. Zimmerman?
No, not Zimmerman. That shot George Floyd.
The
cop that was that killed him.
Didn't they just stab him up?
He got stabbed 32 times. Yeah, he got stabbed up.
He lived, though.
Is he?
He lived.
Yeah, he did.
32 times. You hit a person 32 times, they should be dead.
He is, exactly. So are you really
They moved him, but they moved him to a different facility then.
It don't matter. You got stabbed 32 times.
He's going to cut all of his hair off.
With a jail shank.
He's going to cut all of his hair. They probably moved him somewhere in like North Dakota, somewhere into another federal facility where there's nothing but, you know what I mean? There ain't nothing but the, what they call it? The
Aryan Brotherhood?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's
bro,
it.
You gotta understand,
and they're going to cut all of his hair off, and he about to just join them and be like, yeah, you know, I did what I was supposed to do. They're going to let him in, and that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, no, that's cool and all, right? But you got stabbed 32 times. Like some of your body parts. What a prison shank.
It depends on how big it was, obviously.
It do.
You know what I'm saying? But that's still, you still got 32 wounds on you.
You got a whole lot of injuries inside. You ain't the same person.
I'm surprised they ain't hit him in the neck or something. That'd hit him with some good ones in the neck. I mean, you hit a person in the neck in the right one.
I mean, you can hit somebody in the right.
They sent the wrong missile at him. They sent the wrong missile at him right there. That missile ain't no good. You should get rid of that dude. Whoever that was, he didn't do what he was supposed to do. I'm not saying he should have killed nobody because I'm not with all that, but he didn't complete the task that he was sent to do. That's all it is.
Maybe that's what he's supposed to do.
Just stab him up, let him know what it is.
He gonna get peeled up and then put him right back in his pod.
You gonna get attempted murder, bro. This is all on camera.
For life, who cares?
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, they gonna take. Listen, I'm gonna keep it real with you though. They're gonna take away all of his privileges. He gonna be in the worst kind of facility now forever. They gonna put you in a facility where you ain't got
already somewhere where you can't
23
get no pussy.
and 1.
What else can they do from you?
A little different, bro. You know what I'm saying? They lock you down 23 and 1. You be on lockdown for 23 hours a day and only get out 1 hour. Versus you can just walk around for all day long, pretty much inside, at least kicking it with the people you want to kick it with. It's a little different, bro. Comforts are a little. The small things. It's the small things. It's the small things. I got one more.
Yeah.
Disney says man can't sue over wife's death because he agreed to Disney Plus terms of services. Man, this is crazy. I can't even believe I'm reading this shit.
This is a great one.
Disney is trying to have a widower's wrongful death lawsuit dismissed and sent to arbitration because the man had signed up for a Disney Plus account several years ago. Jeffrey J. Piccola sued Disney Parks and Resorts in February, months after his wife, Dr. Kanaporn Tangsung, died after she consumed food containing allergens at a restaurant in Disney World. Piccola said in his complaint that his wife and his mother went to dinner at Raglan Road Irish Pub and Restaurant at the resort in Orlando, Florida on October 5th. They asked several times whether the Tangson's allergies could be accommodated. According to the complaint, despite several servers having assured them Tangson's had severe allergic reaction and died at a local hospital, the complaint said. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy to me.
Well, it says Disney filed court documents in May saying the $50,000 lawsuit should be dismissed.
$50,000?
$50,000 lawsuit should be dismissed and resolved by individuals' arbitration. It should be resolved by individual arbitration because of terms Piccolo agreed to when he signed up for a free trial of the streaming service of Disney Plus. The filing also says he accepted the same terms when he used the Walt Disney Park website to buy tickets.
Listen, first of all, his wife was a doctor.
First of all, you shouldn't be going to random. If you have allergies, pack a lunch. I'm sorry. This is pack a lunch.
His wife's a doctor. I'm suing 450 bands. She's my wife. First of all, she's my wife.
They have to shut down the whole. Fuck that. They have to shut down the whole kitchen, scrub the grill.
She asked several times, and they assured her. It'd be different if she went in there like, I'm just gonna eat in here and figure it out when it go along.
Sued. I mean, I respect the business. Be like, hey, my person has a peanut allergy. Can you guys accommodate? No, we cannot.
You can. Yeah, that's what you should say.
There's peanuts on everything.
Yeah, and I'll be like, we don't do that here. I'm sorry. That's what you should have said. That's what they should have said.
Lawsuits and suit and stuff. But also, it's like this. The scary part is, ain't nobody read those user agreements.
Nobody,
we
man.
Talking about this off camera. I said right now, don't even look it up. I'll give anybody $5 if you can tell me the user agreement, paragraph 3, section 2 of the EA Sports Madden stuff you signed before you play the game. Man, exactly, you can't. Nobody reads that shit. You be like, get out the way. I'm trying to watch porn.
Listen, you know how many things I probably just didn't sign up for just in the last week, man, that I just pushed the user agreement. Yeah.
Some of them, and
I don't know.
Some of them make you scroll to the bottom. They don't care if you read it. They're like, you'll try to like press it and keep going past.
They're like, nope. They want to make sure because then when they come back in, they're like, yep, you scroll to the. We assumed he read it because all they can do is assume you read it. Then at that point in time,
yeah,
you know, it's just crazy because they know you're not going to read that shit. They put it. I mean, Google when they sitting here try to make me sign back into my account. I'm like, man, what the hell? All right, man, come on. I got shit to do.
I got things to do.
Rapid world we live in. I can't read 72 pages and then I'm gonna understand what the fuck you talking about half of the time. Anyways, like you know what I mean.
That's like watching commercials and you don't read the small print on the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? I finally started reading that stuff at the bottom. Like I was like, damn.
Listen, man, he only asked for 50 bands for his wife, man. And first of all, it's for your wife. She's dead now. This is your wife.
He did it.
Second of all,
he did it. That's all he wants, 50 bands. You had a life. He did that shit.
Listen, second of all, she's a doctor. You only want $50,000 for a doctor?
Nah, he's trying to go $50,000 to take his mistress on a trip. I'm telling you, 50 bands, bro.
I think he was just trying to get a quick payday. Just give me $50,000. Give me $50,000.
You know he had that peanut in his pocket. He sprinkled that shit like Salt Bae. He was like, hey, babe, what's that over there?
Put it on the gram. I'll give you $1,000. That's basically what he. That's basically what he said.
It was in a vanilla milkshake. There ain't no peanuts in a vanilla. I don't know where the allergy was.
I need more than 50,000 for my wife. I can't. I need some. I need some tickets for that.
Look,
you kill my wife. I need tickets, man, and somebody's got to go.
No,
I need a body for that.
When I was a little kid, I remember going to Disneyland as a kid, right? And they have this big wall next to the entrance, and it's all the rules of Disneyland, right? And like no one reads that shit. They be like, all right, kids, read the rules. We're like, yeah, yeah, I read it all. Like it's been 10 seconds.
Let's go.
And then you go in there and you scream because Mickey Mouse is 12'5". You're like, oh my god.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it real, but that's the worst thing they could ever do to some. I hope this does not go through. I hope they don't allow Disneyland to get away with this shit because that's crap.
They already did.
No, they said that
they already did.
They said they're asking for a wrongful office. Disney is trying to have it dismissed because of that. That hasn't happened yet.
He signed up for the free trial Disney Plus.
Ain't that crazy?
You gave away your rights to watch TV for 7 days.
Think about it like this. I mean, it was two-pronged because when he bought us tickets too. But the first one, if you should not be able to get me if I sign up for a television subscription thing for me going to your park. Those are two separate things. They better make sure.
You just can't sue them.
No, that's bullshit. No, that's not good. You should not be able to say, okay, if you sign up for this television program, which you watching from the comforts of your home, then you decide years later, because they said 7 years later, count several years ago. You know what I mean? And so years later, you go to their park. Now they're like, hey. We got multiple streams of revenue here in this business of Disney. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's go back and see. Do you got Disney Plus? They said to him to see his wife dead. Do you so happen to have Disney Plus that you signed up for?
No, they're gonna be like, oh, you ain't read it? And they go, somebody gonna come out with the scroll. Ha!
You know what I mean?
Right
That's
there.
Some crazy shit.
He's like chapter 27, paragraph 4, sentence 2.
Like I said, me personally, man, I just don't see that as being even like to me that's callous as hell for them to even say something like that. He only asked. They should just give him the $50,000 to shut this whole situation up.
They can't give him the $50,000, bro. Disney just came out talking about. He's like, they're saying that the poor folks is the reason no one's coming to the park and they can't afford it and they're losing money because people not coming to the park.
They got $50,000 to get it due real quick. I'd like to make it. I'm like this.
You pay him. You pay him
$50,000 real quick, man. Let's get it out of here. This is bad press, bro. This is worse. You're gonna lose more money with something like this going on. People are gonna be like, I'm not going here. I can't even. If I die, I can't even get $50,000.
I'm not going to Disneyland. I can't afford to go to Disneyland.
Can't afford to go to Disneyland. That's true.
Nobody can. People can, but I ain't got money like that.
Let's hope when Kamala gets into office, she enacts some of the things that she's talking about doing. I'm trying to tell you,
we gonna see. I mean, as long as she ain't fake promising black people stuff.
Do you believe that, man? I don't even think that at all. Go watch her Uncle Luke interview. You're gonna see people like fake. I mean, I don't believe it's about fake promise. I think she's looking at the middle class. We're part of. A lot of us are part of. Not all. the middle and lower economic classes in this country. If you do things to help them put more money in their pockets, if you do things to help them acquire homes, $25,000, bro, to go put down on a house, what does that do to the bottom line?
Yeah,
that helps you with your where you're at when it comes to your economic, your generational wealth. Period, plain and simple. It just does. Yeah. And so that's the programs that Democrats have. They're going to say, hey, we're going to start looking at price gouging now for grocery stores. What do you think grocery stores are about to do ahead of time? Oh, yeah, we're going to have to cut these prices, man. If she get in office, I guarantee you on November, whatever day afterwards, you're going to start seeing a significant drop in your grocery prices. Like, oh, yeah, we can't do this. She won. Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and cut these prices.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see, man. We're going to let y'all know. We're going to keep you updated as we always do. Uncommon courtesy. We'll see you next time.